All right, so we are in chapter 6. We are going to start to draw isometric drawings. Up to this point, we've been doing orthographic projections. And they are two-dimensional objects from each side, or two-dimensional drawings from each side of a part to help us fully define that part. Now, as you look here in the lower right-hand corner of the video, this is what we refer to as an isometric drawing. It is still a two-dimensional drawing, but we draw it in a way where it looks and appears 3D. So, or what I call basically blocking in and making the cubes. And as we look at this, AutoCAD offers some unique ways that are very useful for us to kind of do this. So we will kind of go through. This will probably take a couple of videos for us to get as I explain what's going on here. So, so when you get into AutoCAD, a couple of things. Make sure you're in your template file. So we're going to start out in the template file. Down here, as you take a look at our bars and so forth, make sure that we have the grid mode on. So make sure your dynamic input is on here as well. We're going to kind of come through. Let me move this up and get this out of the way so you can see everything. Object snap tracking and object snap will be on as well. So, and we're also going to turn on ISO draft here. Now let's go over here to our customization. So right here's the customization button. Let's turn that on. Notice our isometric drafting is on here as well. So that is good. And we're going to come in and we're going to change this. So watch what happens. So I toggle that and we can go back and forth from the orthographic paper to what's referred to as an isometric paper. Now I can use that and I can toggle back and forth on the bar there. You can also do the same thing here with the F5 key as well. So when we kind of go in and do stuff there too. Now take a look here as well as we go on this. So once we're in here, we do have the ISO plane left. So let me move this up so it's out of the way because we're looking down here. So as you take a look at this and the ISO draft button, we do have an ISO plane left, we have an ISO plane top, and we have an ISO plane right. So we're going to start out in the ISO plane left mode. So drawing with that, so I can go ahead and put this back down. And it doesn't really matter at this point where you're at, so kind of stay fairly close to your origin point. So we don't want to be zoomed too far out since we are going to be kind of making this as a fairly small size drawing. You should be in the units of the imperial system, so we should be in inches right now with the 3-place decimal precision. And as we look through the textbook, the first line that we're going to start to do is we're going to create some construction lines. So let's go ahead and go in and activate our construction line layer. And we're going to go to the line tool. Now, notice at this point, I don't really have anything where it's picking up on the grid. So let's go ahead and turn the snap mode on the grid, and we can kind of start to pick this up. Now, this might kind of get in our way in a little bit later, but for right now, we're going to kind of use this to get started so we can kind of place some things here. So it doesn't matter, someplace in the center. So I'm going to left click on here. Now, notice at this point, I want a vertical line that is 1.5. So I'm going to go 1.5, tab, 90 degrees, and going down. Now we're going to go to the right, and this is going to be 3.5, tab over, this is going to be 150 degrees. So we'll place that there. Come back up here. Now at this point, this is probably where, since we've got that kind of established, we can go ahead and turn that snap grid off. So here will be 1.5, tab 90, hit enter. and now we can come back and close this off, and we've got the circle. Now, right click and hit escape to get out of there. So we've kind of drawn the front viewing plane of our rectangle that basically measures 1.5 this way by 3.5 this way. And as you take a look at it, each of these are basically a 1/2 inch. So there's 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5. So here's 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 3.5. And we're going to maintain that all the way around as well. So let's go ahead now and let's change to the isoplane top mode. Notice how this switches. So, and in the top mode, we're going to draw this at 2 inches. So let's go back into our line tool. So I'm going to kind of come up here, and this is going to be 2 inches, tab over at 30 degrees. So now we're kind of coming back this way. So that's going to be back to the 3.5, tab at 30 degrees. And now we can go and close that off. Right click and hit enter. So that takes care of that. Now, we are going to do the same thing. So as we construct this isometric view, we're just kind of changing back and forth. So let's go ahead and put it in the isoplane. You can, as far as the right isoplane, you can kind of see how our box lines up. So let's go ahead and draw this now. So this was a 2, tab 30, and we can go right on up. That's going to be 1.5 at 90. Right click and enter. So now I have those construction lines there as well. So, and before we go to do that, so we know, and I call this the wedge block basically. So because we are going to come in here and we're going to cut the line out here. We're also going to create a line going up this way. So we're going to kind of do this a couple of different ways, or I'm going to kind of show you. We're going to say we're going to copy, and I want to copy this line. All right, so I just left clicked on that. I'm going to hit enter. Now it wants the base point, so I'm going to select that base point. And now notice it's saying specify the point and a direction. So we're going to say this is going to go to 2, and we're going to tab over at this point. If you think about it, this should be here at 330 degrees. So I can also go back in and say at 2 at 330 degrees. Notice that there, and then I can place it. So that's kind of where I'm at. So let's go back and do that again so you can see it. So we'll go copy. Left click on what you want to copy, hit enter. So we're going to select this as the base point, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to hit the shift key and say at 2 tab 330 and place that. So notice where it came in. Let's go ahead and enter to cancel. So that gives me that line right here. And we know that this is wedge, so we're going to do the same thing here with this line, and that one's going to move up by 1/2 inch. So let's do the same thing. We're going to go back to copy. So get to the copy. So we'll left click on the object, hit enter. So it wants to specify the base point. So we're going to say this is the base point, and we're going to go 0.5 tab 90 and enter. Right click and enter. So now we've got that placed as well. So now we have a way to kind of take a look and come back in and start to select and draw the line. So let's go ahead and activate our object line. So come back in here. So now I can just go back through and kind of go over my construction lines and bring that right here. So right click and enter. So I'm also going to go ahead and hit the F7 key. So you notice your grid. So let's kind of, now that I've got this partially developed, we'll go ahead and take care of that. Let's continue here to draw these object lines. So we know that it's going to be up here like this. So right click, repeat the line. So I'm going to have lines right here going through this. Right click and enter. And lastly, I right click and repeat. I also want a line from here up to there. So let's go ahead and turn off the construction line layer. So there is our wedge. So couple other things here as we do it. So I'm going to go, let's turn our construction lines back on for just a second. And we were going to go into our hidden line layer here. Now, at this point, I'm going to go back to my F7. Let's turn these back on because I know I've got some more lines here that I want to draw as well. And we're going to kind of, just so you can visualize this, if I come down to here, so at 1.5, tab 90, that's going to be a hidden line. That's that corner, and this is going to come right over to there. So right click and cancel to get out of that. I'll right click and repeat the line. So from here now over to there is also the hidden line. So let's go ahead, hit F7 to get rid of the screen. So I'm going to go back to my object line layer, and let's go ahead and turn off the construction line layer. So you have an idea here of how this is related and where we're going to see everything. Now, couple of other things as we go. So we do have construction lines that are going to be placed here in the middle. Now, if I turn my construction layer back on, it's going to have and give me a hard time finding my midpoint on this. So let's just do this. Again, there's lots of different ways. Come back in. Let's go ahead and select midpoint as far as our object snaps. I'm going to create a line using the midpoints. So we'll place that line right there. I'm going to repeat, I'm going to place this line right here. Now, those are object lines. I don't want to keep them that way. Let me hit escape to get out of the line drawing tool. Let me select both of those, and now I'm going to make those my center lines. There we go. So, because now I also have to come in, and we're going to create another circle here, but we got to come in. Let's go into our top plane. So I'll go ahead and hit F7 to get back in there. And now, instead of a circle, this is going to be an ellipse, or it's going to look ellipse, and I want to select the axis end. Now notice when we do that, we're given a choice of arc, center, or ISO circle. So I'm going to left click on the ISO circle, go ahead and place this, and again, the size of this circle I believe was a 1-inch diameter, so we'll just type in 1, or that's saying the radius, so maybe I better go 0.5. So with the radius, there we go. So I now have that circle in here as well. Let's turn off the grid. So, and I could kind of go back and adjust those. If I wanted to, we can also turn off the hidden lines. So, and there is our wedge block all done and finished. And we now have that nice isometric drawing of this particular part. Go ahead and make sure that you save this drawing as instructed in the assignments so that you have that, and get that turned in and submitted.